Hello NORP third grade families. Today we started our new unit on multiplication and division. Today students learned about square numbers, and the key idea that they learned is when you take the same number times the same number, your product is a square number. So one of the ways that I demonstrated this in class was showing them that square numbers make square arrays. So for part of the homework tonight, this sort of reiterates that if it's a square number, the array will be a square. If it's not a square number, then the array would obviously not be a square. So for this first example here on the homework, we have to use centimeter cubes to build the arrays. They can just simply color these in. On their grid, I didn't send centimeter cubes home. So for this first one, for 3 by 3, they would simply color in a 3 by 3 array. And if you're trying to help your child at home, then the next prompt would be, what shape is this? And they should say this shape is a square. The number model for this array is shown here. The product is just not included. So 3 times 3 equals, and here if your child gets stuck, they can use the hundreds chart for turnaround facts in their math journals, or they can simply count the squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would be an example of a square number. Here, as you can see again, the array is a square. And it's because the same two factors are being multiplied to reach a square product. So if we take a look at 3 times 4, you'll notice that a square is not formed but a rectangle, and this is because the same factor is not being multiplied twice. So here the shape is a rectangle and the number model is 3 times 4 equals 12. So the key idea here is that square numbers have the same two factors being multiplied, and so it forms a square array. On the back side of the homework tonight, basically it was just finding the products, which products we talked about today as being the solution or the answer to a multiplication problem. So for here, we have one dot and it's shown up and it appears 2 times. So 1 times 2 is 2. Here we have 2 dots that appear 3 times. 2, 4, 6. So 2 times 3 is 6. Here we have 3 dots that appear 4 times. 3 times 4 being 12. And so it goes on. Basically, this was just a practice in looking at the array and using the array to help solve the multiplication problem. I did not have them answer question 7. Question 7 just asks what happens when you subtract each product from the next larger product. And if you want to do an extension at home, you're more than welcome to try that out, but that was not required for tonight's homework. This was a very basic application of today's lesson, in the idea that they're using an array, which they've already learned about, to find the product or the solution to the multiplication problems shown. On the back side is where they're practicing finding the square numbers. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me.